What's up, guys? Shirley here. Today I thought I'd give you guys a little update on Warriors and patch 7.2.5. Blizzard recently just put out some official notes regarding the upcoming changes, and it looks like Arms Warriors are getting massive sweeps across the board here. Fury hasn't been touched, so don't worry everybody that switched Fury, and for the other, like 5 people left playing Arms, I got you covered. So I got the patch notes pulled up here at the moment, and I just thought I'd go through these and kind of give my input to Blizzard on the changes and, try to piece together what they're doing with Arms on the upcoming patch. So first off, 2 huge changes are coming up. All abilities damage is going to be increased by 10%, in addition to any of the other buffs coming up, but the effective mastery has been reduced by 20%. So what this means is they're trying to stop us from relying so much on mastery and in turn Colossus Smash, so our damage outside the Colossus window is going to be a little bit better, but we're not going to get to really crazy levels of mastery coming up in Tomb of Sargeras. And then after that is some really interesting changes to the playstyle of Arms throughout these patch notes. The first thing, Anger Management now spends 20 rage per 1 second of cooldown reduction, so it's gimped by, double basically. It's a rage nerf for recklessness, or battle cry, my bad. But it also affects the cooldown of Bladestorm now. This is good and bad. With the new tier set bonus from Tomb of Sargeras affecting Bladestorm, this is going to be good for the tier set, but this also hurts the uptime of Battlecry, so that means less rage overall throughout a long fight, because, you get free rage generation basically through the Deadly Calm talent when you have Battlecry up. So this is... it's okay, but affecting Bladestorm. I don't really like it for, the nerf to Battlecry. I didn't think that was really necessary, but anyway, going on, cleave damage has been increased by 20%. It's nice. It's not really a big deal, but helps our AoE. Can't argue with that. Colossus Smash cooldown has been reduced to 20 seconds, and damage increased by 10%. So they're making CS hit a little bit harder to help offset the effect of mastery getting lowered, and the cooldown's back to 20 seconds like it used to be for a long time. So this kind of helps, since they're reducing the effect of mastery, so you don't have really punishing windows where you don't get a proc anymore. I'm sure a lot of people like that. The next one, Dauntless cost reduction is now 10%, was 20%. This one remains to be seen, but for a single target fight, it still might be the go-to for raiding. Maybe not for PvP, because 10% less rage off something isn't... It's not near as, a big of a deal as the 20% was before. I mean, the 20% was pretty good, but it's just another nerf to our rage. Execute damage has been increased by 25%. This is nice. Kind of. It's nice on paper because it's like, well, free damage. Can't argue with that. But Blizzard's got a bad habit of loading all of Arms' damage into the execute phase anyway, which means that our 100% to 20% damage isn't as good as it could be. So this remains to be seen. Depends on how the rest of it balances out with the mastery nerfs, whether or not this is just a buff, or, if the rest of our damage is going to hurt because of this. The next one, Fervor of Battle, this talent got buffed. This is the Whirlwind talent that increases the damage of Whirlwind to your primary target. It's now 80%. Now, this sounds great, and maybe it'll see some use on some ad fights, but you give up Avatar for this talent, so I don't think it's really going to be used all that often, and especially not really in PvP. I think Avatar is just too useful. Focus Rage is getting a nerf. It now costs 20 rage per stack, was 15. Just another nerf to our rage. the overarching theme, if you haven't noticed yet, is they're really trying to get rid of Focus Rage for rating, it seems. And I'll get to what I think about that at the end here, but they're nerfing the Rage on that. In for the Kill is getting buffed, which is also in that same talent row as Focus Rage and Mortal Combo. It's now going to refund 40 Rage when you Mortal Strike a target below 20%. Still don't really like the talent, even at 40 Rage for rating. It puts too much emphasis on the execute phase still, which I don't really like. Mortal Strike damage increased by 20% on top of the original 10% buff, so it's gonna hit harder baseline now. Nice, I guess, since we're losing Focus Rage being not as efficient anymore. So I guess that's a nice change. Overpower. Now this one's interesting. It's just getting nerfed really. No longer costs Rage, but no longer procs from auto attacks and may not proc itself. So you don't really use Overpower in PvE right now anyway, okay? And if you use it in PvP, you probably already know that you don't really have Rage problems using the Mortal Combo Overpower build. So the fact that it no longer costs Rage doesn't really mean much, because it was only 10 Rage to begin with. But it no longer procking from auto attacks and not procking itself, that's just a nerf. It was really nice getting chain Overpower procs versus rogues and demon hunters especially, since Blade Dance gives them that dodge frame every like 8 seconds or whatever. So this, it kind of sucks. I'd rather they have kept the Rage cost and not taken away the proc chance. Precise Strikes, one of your artifact traits, reduced to 10% cost. This is the buff to Mortal Strike. Makes it cost less after you Colossus Smash. Also Execute, it's getting nerfed. Another thing that's just nerfing our Rage generation throughout, and the Rage smoothness in a PvE environment really. Rend, cost increased to 20 Rage, was 10. Nobody was really using it anyway, so this nerf seems unnecessary. Its first hit, however, is going to deal 280% weapon damage. That's a buff over what it was currently. But frankly, this buff should have went through and not it costing more Rage. I think that's completely unnecessary, because you're using it for a bleed component anyway, if you're using it at all in, say, arenas. So there's not really much to be said about it. I don't think that the Rage nerf was necessary there. I wish they would have buffed the dot instead of the initial hit, because that's the point of it. It's supposed to be, a dot, not, you're not just slamming something. Speaking of which, Slam's getting buffed by 35%, so that's nice. So it's going to come a little bit more in line with Mortal Strike. Not quite as hard, obviously, but it's getting close with that kind of a buff. Titanic Might. This is the very interesting change. Now increases the duration of Colossus Smash by 8 seconds, was 16 seconds. Now, use this all the time in PvP these days, because it no longer gimps the effectiveness. But it now also reduces the cooldown of Colossus Smash by 8 seconds. So what this means is, CS is going to last for 16 seconds with Titanic Might on your target now. But, since the cooldown got dropped to 20 seconds, this cooldown reduction from it is going to put it at a 12-second cooldown, which means if you take Titanic Might, you have permanent Colossus Smash up. Now this is a huge change and makes me kind of understand why they nerfed the effective mastery by 20%, because you no longer have a window where you don't have CS up. If you take this talent, you can have 100% uptime on Colossus Smash. Now for PvP, this is going to be great, really. I already like the talent. It's just, the cooldown reduction and everything is better. The 16-second window is still plenty of time, so I really like that. Now for rating, it's going to be an interesting change if we take this over Deadly Calm. I believe it's Deadly Calm in that row. Will it be worth it or not? It remains to be seen, but it's definitely an interesting change. Void Cleave is getting buffed by 100%. This is your artifact trait that comes off of Cleave. So Cleave plus its proc on 3 targets is just getting a big buff, which is nice. So we get more AoE. The arms can kind of catch up to Fury in that regard. Whirlwind's getting buffed by 20% as well. And Will the First King is giving you 2 rage per critical strike. It's a little buff. If you didn't know, when your Whirlwind crits, that's what that trait is. It's going to give you 2 rage now instead of 1 per target. So, what do I think about all these changes? I suppose you got to look at it from 2 different angles. From the PvP side, I'm going to start with that because it's a little bit more straightforward. It looks great. It's a lot of buffs, really, as far as PvP is concerned, other than Overpower getting the little proc nerf, but it's still going to be good. You got less reliance on Colossus Smash, which means target swapping in PvP is going to be so much easier, more consistent. All your damage is going to be, you know, front-loaded. You didn't use Focus Rage a whole lot these days anyway, so the current Mortal Combo build is just going to be that much better in PvP. So Arms is already looking really good for 7.2.5. It's already pretty damn good in 7.2. So, looks great for the arena side of things. Now, the raid side, the PvE side of things, this is what most of these changes, I think, are pointed at. It looks like the overlying goal here is to nerf the Focus Rage playstyle. Blizzard doesn't seem to like this anymore, and how they're doing that is just making everything cost more rage. And if you don't have rage to play with, then obviously you can't use Focus Rage near as much. So the build will probably still be viable, just because of the way Deadly Calm works and the current tier bonus and Night Hold giving us so much extra rage to play with. So I don't think that's going to change necessarily. However, this does open up the possibility that some other builds might come out through Titanic Might, In for the Kill, Mortal Combo even, Overpower, maybe even for raiding. Now the question is, will those be better than the standard Focus Rage build? I don't know yet. What do I think about this, really, is them going about nerfing Focus Rage. I don't actually like. I'm like one of the few people that enjoys the Focus Rage playstyle of Arms, and that's why I've stuck with Arms through Nighthold. So I can see where a big majority of the player base doesn't like Focus Rage, and Blizzard's heard about that outcry. Obviously, you hear it all the time. That's why a lot of people switch to Fury. I understand that, but frankly, I think they're going about it the wrong way. If they want to nerf Focus Rage, they should probably just nerf the spell itself, but nerfing our rage generation through everything else, I don't really agree with. I think it's going to make the spec just clunky to play. If you are trying to go Focus Rage, everything's going to slow way down, and it's not going to feel as good. If you're not playing the Focus Rage spec, however, you really don't have rage issues, so that'll be totally fine. I just think it's overly punishing people that enjoy the Focus Rage playstyle. I think they should have buffed the other talents to compensate. It's not like Arms was, you know, just god tier anymore, like it was back in Emerald Nightmare. So I think they could have got away with buffing a bunch of the other talents and leaving Focus Rage alone to get their point across, and that would have been my preferred change for Arms in the upcoming patch. But really, I mean, what else is there to say about it? They're nerfing FR, so if you don't like that play style and you like the Mortal Combo style, Arms might be, you know, a good thing to come back to, especially for the next raid tier with the Bladestorm tier set bonus, and the new Fury set bonus is losing out on a rage uptime, so who knows, they might be more competitive again. But anyway, guys, that's about all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'll see you next time. Peace.